Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give you a weekly update on the Russian aggression against Ukraine between April 17th and 23rd. Yesterday, at approximately 11:17 a.m., the vehicle of the OSCE Special Monitoring Mission to Ukraine ran over an anti-tank mine while on patrol. The incident took place near the village of Prishib, Slavenoserbsk district, Luhansk region. This area is currently controlled by the militants of the so-called LPR. One special monitoring mission member, a U.S. citizen, was killed in the explosion. Two more observers, citizens of Germany and Czech Republic, were transported to the hospital in Luhansk. Overall, there were 6 observers and 2 vehicles who were involved in patrolling this specific area. The Joint Center for Control and Coordination of the Ceasefire reported that no hostilities were recorded at the time the incident took place in that area. Both the Ukrainian armed forces as well as the militants of the so-called LPR obeyed the ceasefire. At the same time, ATL Headquarters Press Center strongly denies the militants' provocative statements about the alleged involvement of Ukrainian military in the incident. All responsibility lies with the militants, as they have been controlling the area of the incident since the summer of 2014. Paragraph 6 of the memorandum, as of September 20th, 2014, stipulates demining of the frontline areas. Therefore, this tragic incident once again demonstrates the failure of Russian proxies to comply with Minsk agreements. Ukrainian government stands for thorough investigation into the incident and for bringing their perpetrators to justice. Ukrainian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has expressed deep condolences to the family of the victim. Now to the combat zone. The overall combat situation at the front line continues to have simmering nature, with numerous armed provocations performed by Russian proxies both day and night. Additionally, militants continued violating recent Easter time agreements ceasefire by frequently shelling Ukrainian positions with heavy weapons. Over the week, the number of violations ranged between 18 and 47. Luhansk sector. The enemy remains consistent while choosing their target areas. Stanitsa Luhansk and Popasna, as well as Krymske, regularly came under enemy fire of low intensity. The tensest situation was observed on April 21st, when militants launched 2 mortar attacks at Krymske, having discharged about 30 rounds. Last week, Russian proxies several times opened fire with small arms and grenade launchers in Zhovte, Slavenoserbsk district, where ceasefire violations had been rarely registered in the previous weeks. Throughout the week, the enemy fire activity ranged between 1 and 8 episodes of ceasefire violation per day. From Monday to Wednesday, the situation was relatively stable, and on Thursday, April 20th, it abruptly deteriorated. Russia-supported forces opened multiple mortar and tank fire at Avdiivka and used mortars in Luhansk and Verkhnyotorets. That day, invaders discharged nearly 120 rounds at positions of Ukrainian defenders in this sector. In subsequent days, the intensity of enemy mortar fire slightly decreased, but Russia-equipped militants continued to open fire with small arms and grenade launchers both day and night. From Friday to Sunday, enemy sniper groups engaged in defense lines of Ukrainian army in Avdiivka and adjacent positions. Militants regularly used infantry fighting vehicles in Luhansk and in Pisky. Last week, the daily number of ceasefire violations by the enemy in the sector ranged between 4 and 28. Now, Mariupol sector. For the first time in weeks, Russian proxies used mortars predominantly in northern part of the front line. Krasnohorivka, Mariinka, and Novotroitsk were regularly fired upon with mortars. Russia-backed militants also used infantry fighting vehicles in Hnutovo, Vilyen, and Shorokino. On April 17th, 18th, and 23rd, enemy sniper groups were most active, engaging Ukrainian defenders at Novotroitsk, Mykolaiivka, Pavlopil, Talakivka, and Vilyen. Last week, the daily number of ceasefire violations by the enemy in Mariupol sector ranged between 12 and 24. Last week, 4 Ukrainian servicemen were killed in action, and 19 troops were wounded in action. Among the wounded, there were 3 servicemen of the National Guard of Ukraine. Our hearts go out to the families and friends of the fallen Ukrainian heroes. 1 civilian man was wounded in the war zone last week. The incident took place in Mariinka on Saturday, April 22nd. Between April 17th and 23rd, 16 private houses in Avdiivka and Mariinka were damaged by the enemy fire. In addition, Russian proxies hit and destroyed a non-residential building in Avdiivka. Also, residents of Avdiivka and nearby villages throughout the week suffered recurrent blackouts caused by breakdown of power lines. Ukrainian authorities arranged for access and safe passage of 23 trucks loaded with humanitarian aid for civilians living in the occupied territories of eastern Ukraine. The aid was provided by the International Committee of the Red Cross and the UN High Commissioner for Refugees representative in Ukraine. The trucks carried over 510 tons of food, building materials, personal hygiene products, and medicine. That'll be all for today. Thank you very much.